All right, one very critical thing, we want to make sure if we expand in your document settings, this Trammel toy, we're building this in inches, so make sure that you are in inches and not in millimeters. Okay, again, this is part of the Jigsaw activity where you're each creating parts. We want to make sure you're either in your default folder or your IED core training folder, wherever you need to put things so that they can be shared. And then you need to have a subfolder for the Trammel toy. And this video is going to be the screw slider block. So again, you're going to want to have this drawing available to you here. That's the screw slider, so that you have dimensions. I'll go through them here in the video, but probably also going to help to have that available. So best practice, let's immediately save the file, and we're going to call this screw slider block for the Trammel toy. Click Save. Under Assemble, let's create a new component. And I know this seems redundant, but it's the way Fusion works with the top-down modeling that it's optimized for. So now I'm going to call this again screw slider block. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So next, I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom plane, and I'm going to grab my center rectangle tool. I want to make sure I get the origin, so when I get the little box around the origin, we'll click, and the full width is 1.75 inches. I'll hit the tab key, that'll get me to the other dialog box, and the full depth is 0.734 inches. I'll finish my sketch. We'll extrude up a distance of 0.355 inches. Okay, and the next step, we will go ahead and do a sketch on that top face. So I want to make sure I get the top of the rectangular prism I've already built. Again, I want to grab my center rectangle tool. And this time I just want to make sure I get an X on the outside, so that way it's going to be constrained to that edge that's already been drawn. And then the sketch dimension I'm going to put in is the distance from that rectangle to that edge is 0.141 inches. 141 thousandths. So then again, I'll go ahead and finish that sketch. We'll select that rectangle, and they give us the full height of 0.844 inches, and Fusion will do the math. So then in that same dialog box, I'm going to go minus 0.355 inches and hit enter. So it will actually do the math in that dialog box for me. The next thing I want to do is I have the 0.125 chamfers that are on there, and that's dimensioned with a TYP, which stands for typical. That means anything that looks that size is that size. So on the modify panel, I'll grab the chamfer tool, and I want to select 8 edges here. I'm going to be careful I don't get a face. So see, I'm hovering and highlighting to get all those edges, and I might have to flip this around to get that back edge. So those are the 8 edges I want, 0.125 inches. Okay, let's see, what else do I see here? I see I have a hole. So I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch on the top face. And let's just go ahead and put a point on there that is constrained right above the origin. And that's the beauty of using the center rectangle and using the origin in the middle of this, because it makes it a lot simpler. I'll go ahead and finish the sketch. Let's use the hole tool. And this is just a simple hole. So we want to make sure we have a simple hole that goes through all. And we'll select that center point, and the diameter is supposed to be 0.177 inches. Okay, let's see here. And we have one more detail, and that is we have a regular polygon that is extruded on the bottom. So we have the top, the front, and the bottom. So I'm going to go to the bottom face now. So we'll go ahead and create a sketch on the bottom. And there's a regular polygon tool. It doesn't matter which one we use. I want to make sure I grab the origin. And I'm going to just do a 6-sided polygon. I'm just kind of eyeballing that there for a moment. And if I look at the drawing, it shows me that I want the sides to be vertical. So I'm going to try to get one of those to go vertical like that. Okay, so that works. And the distance across the flats. Okay, so the distance from a flat to flat is supposed to be 0.386. So I'll go ahead and hit enter on that. And we can finish the sketch. And this would be a cut extrusion. So I'll select that. And I need to cut that a distance of negative 0.255 inches. Okay, so we'll make sure we save that. And then in order to share, once that is saved, you can right-click, share the link. And here's where you'll select you're going to share, and you can copy that link, allow it to be downloaded by your cohorts, along with sharing that link in your submission for Block 4.